You know, folks, I gotta tell you, I know we have I'm in no mood. I've been listening to music in a few days, and I love music because I'm saddened. I'm saddened by a person I have never met. I'm saddened by a person that inspired, galvanized an entire generation. It's a person who took a more peaceful approach, almost Martin Luther King-esque, to try to get people to think differently, to look at a different opinion, to view the world a little bit differently. And today he's dead because of that. It sucks. What the hell is wrong with us? I don't agree with you. I will kill you. It seems recently that this is becoming okay. That people in different groups are celebrating the death of a young guy because he was a conservative. Welcome back to the Rant Network, everybody. I'm David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. We do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday this rant where we talk about topics that are, like I always say, it's on hushed. We always hear about it in hushed tones. People don't like to talk about it in public. And maybe after today, it's time to stop that. These rants are unedited, uncensored, unfiltered, and unapologetic. Enough with the intro, because we have a lot to get into. Stuart, I'm going to tell you, Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. He's behind a young wife, young children, who for the rest of their lives will know that their husband and father died because he was peaceful, because he tried to get people to look at things at a different angle. He tried to debate scores, thousands, whatever, of university students and other people. And all he kept asking for was, what's your point? What's your fact? Where's this coming from? And his punishment for taking this approach was that he's no longer with us. I think this world is a lot worse off today because of that. Stuart.
You know, this is an interesting twist I'm going to put. Abraham was a man who invited people into a tent to try and deal with children and educate. Charlie was a modern day Abraham. You know, a lot of you may be shaking your head, and I'm not the only one who would say this. If you look at the founders of the Lubavitch or Hasidic movement, they were based off of teaching children right from wrong, giving them an audience, allowing them to speak freely. You know, it is amazing when you try and think back, who was Charlie Kirk? David is telling me let me switch microphones, David. Does that help? Okay.
Perfect.
You know, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I could say for at least from the pandemic onward would catch a TikTok, an Instagram post, a Facebook post, and thoroughly enjoyed his methods on talking to people. When I mean talking to people, you know, you might think of Maxine Waters, who urges everyone to fight, punch them, push them, hurt them. You might be thinking of Hillary Clinton, you know, about the deplorables. Or how about Nancy Pelosi being enemies of the state and being white supremacists? Or how about the former president, Joe Biden, referring to anyone in the MAGA movement being a fascist? Or my favorite, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, stepping on the neck of those Republicans. The wish of hatred, the wish of villainization and polarization isn't exclusively a Democratic problem throughout history. Its reality is that's the modern Democratic platform, Whether you're Elon Omar or OAC or Bernie
AOC,
Sanders,
AOC.
AOC. Sorry for my misspeaking. It is amazing how these radical people who fail to understand that the United States is based off of Judeo-Christian principles, and you spend every single day trying to remove them from its existence in the United States. You know, I don't enjoy when they start saying Jesus and my founder and my savior. Yes, it's obnoxious in my opinion. But someone's faith is not obnoxious. It's their right. When someone's religion doesn't wish someone else death, destruction, and annihilation, like an Elon Omar, like an AOC, like a Bernie Sanders, it is frustrating how the media forgets to mention a terrorist attack in 2012. We think of Benghazi, but we forget about the opening fire in Washington, D.C. on the Christian think tank Family Research Council. We forget the congressional baseball game where in 2017, when a 66-year-old opened fire on the Republican practice. We forget the attack in 2017 when a 59-year-old went after Rand Paul. Or how about Minnesota Republicans sucker punched before an election? Or how about the assassination request for the would-be Kavanaugh? Or how about Butler? I can go on and on and on. What's notable is that Republicans and Republican-leaning people, whether independent or not, seem to go for more peaceful demonstrations. But you would argue January 6th, Stuart, you forget January 6th, the insurrection. Well, let me tell you something. Those people were not correct. You are right. One incident in 25 years doesn't outweigh every single other year, multiple times a year, the death, destruction, and hate that a Maxine Waters, that an Elon Omar, that an AOC, and many others from the squad, Chucky Schumer, a Nancy Pelosi. People forget the Floyd riots. People forget the LA riots. Today, the world is mourning the loss of a modern-day Abraham. The Jews are mourning Charlie Kirk. All Christian faith is mourning Charlie Kirk. Anyone that had half a sense of any moral and value, whether they agreed or disagreed with Charlie Kirk, is mourning the death of Charlie Kirk. I don't see rioting in the streets. Right? I don't see people shooting people because of it, burning businesses, robbing people, beating people, yelling on the streets there should be death and destruction. You killed Charlie Kirk. You killed a modern day Abraham to the Christian faith. I have to tell you, I am saddened with his loss. I think it brings a massive void. But I want to tell you what it also brings. It brings tens of thousands of warriors on college campuses that will ultimately be the next Charlie Kirks. They had martyred this man. I believe the Catholic Church will canonize this man. He never wished anyone any harm. He was witty. He was snappy. He wasn't shy about his faith, but he let those who had other opinions speak. David and I joke back and forth, right? I call him out. I insult him just to try and get his blood boiling. And he comes back at me every once in a while and makes comments. Rightfully so. The Rant Network started 5+ years ago to be a platform for not just me, not just David, but for you. Was it fathered because of Charlie Kirk? No. In hindsight, I think I learned a lot. I think by watching dozens of clips back to back to back, what strategies he engaged to get people to engage is something that I am taking from all of this. How do I let David Solomon and others speak and hear their point of view and be tolerant and accepting? David, and like others, don't wish you or myself any harm. I don't say you should fight in the streets with guns and knives. You should be present and accounted for. David, I believe, wishes the same. Your voice should be heard. Speak up. Being silenced isn't going to help you. That's what caused the most recent world war. Silence. What is going on in Israel? What is going on in the Ukraine? What's going on in Africa, China, and in many parts of the world? They're not equally as bad, but they're all horrible. Speak up. David, sorry.
No, Stuart,
No,
it's fine.
it's
But
fine.
let me
Let me
share with you a
share
few
with you.
things that I'm still trying to get over. You know, when I hear words like divisive, instigator, agitator, right-wing conservative, these words have now become part of the lexicon to put people in a position that they are bad. These words are everywhere. Reuters, conservative activist, Charlie Kirk, conservative. Why? Why is that a bad word? Why is what he did bad? Now, let me be very blunt, Stuart. You don't listen, maybe you listen to Charlie Kirk, but I've heard some things he said, and I didn't agree with him. Sorry.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, I agree.
Devout Catholic,
Oh, yeah.
didn't care for abortion, did not care for a lot of things. I don't agree with him, but that's fine. That's fine. I have friends on the left. I don't agree with a lot of things that they do. And I say on the left, liberal leaning. I've had dozens and dozens of conversations every single week with Americans and Canadians. They know where I stand. Majority of them, we walk away. We can have a bite to eat. We can drink. We can get along. Here's the problem. From the moment Kirk's assassination attempt, the bullet was fired, already wishes for his death were coming through. When afterwards, words from political commentators, including one who was on MSNBC, who I won't mention by name, who deserves to be erased and canceled, fortunately was fired by MSNBC for his words, but no one at MSNBC challenged him on air. It had to be the bosses to say, that crosses a line. You do not say that he caused his own death. Basically, that's what this MSNBC or former MSNBC commentator alleged. Elizabeth Warren, yesterday, what did she do? It's Donald Trump's fault. USA Today, see, another political assassination, violence under Donald Trump. Did we not learn anything? Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk's assassination isn't all what we've dealt with in 2025. Minnesota Democratic State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband fatally shot. An arsonist set fire to the Pennsylvania governor's residence with Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro and his family inside. An immigration and customs enforcement officer was shot and injured outside a detention facility in Texas. The New Mexico Republican Party headquarters was set on fire, and a shooter attacked the Centers for Center Disease Control and Prevention headquarters. 2 young people were assassinated in front of these at an Israeli embassy event. They weren't even Jewish. Do I have to go on? These are political assassinations, political attempts at destruction. Let alone the fact that a couple of weeks ago, 2 young children were killed in a church in Minneapolis because of their faith. No extreme is right. They're all off their rails. The extremists need to stop. The problem is that in government today, your country, my country, other countries, we have these extremists sitting in government in a position of power. When AOC vilifies Trump because of Kirk's assassination, I go nuts. When I hear, well, you put the flag at half staff for Charlie Kirk, but not for Melissa Hortman. Like, what are you trying to do here? So Trump screwed that up. Okay, but he's the bad man. He's the bad man. He's Hitler. He's a fascist. Watch Charlie Kirk's videos. How many times people accuse him of being a fascist?
Yeah.
And they couldn't substantiate it. It's all about hate speech.
Name calling.
Free speech. Hate speech. Enough. This vitriol is off the charts. President Trump has an alleged, because we can't say he is, assassination attempt. This guy's in court. He had 2 last year. And we're not ashamed. When Ronald Reagan was nearly taken down by John Hinckley back in the early 80s, the entire population said, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's with this? No more political, why do we need no political assassinations on our land? And in the last year, nobody cares. Today, we should have been talking about, about 9/11. 24 years after 9/11. But this generation on college campuses who are spewing hate like you can't imagine on social media didn't live through 9/11. I did. You did. I remember and saw the plane hit the Twin Towers. The celebration in Gaza and in West Bank and in other parts of the Middle East of the death of over 3,000 Americans, Canadians, and other foreigners.
90 countries.
It's insane to believe that today, almost a quarter century later, we're celebrating, lauding bin Laden. We're celebrating and lauding Hamas and Hezbollah. We're talking about a global intifada. Are we fucked up to that extent? Have we lost our minds? Charlie Kirk tried to get people to realize that this thinking, this common think, this speech that they've been using is straight out of 1984. If you've never read George Orwell's book, well, you might want to, because that's exactly what he predicted. That if you go out of line, you're punished. You must act the same, speak the same. You can't have your own ideas. You must follow these false gods to the edge of the earth. And if you fall over, too bad. But these false gods are leading you down a path of destruction. And that's not some church message. That's not some religious message. Charlie Kirk's only weapon, and I'm using that word in quotations, was his mouth. He was smart. He was well-read. He was knowledgeable. Stuart talked, and I'm going on, and I apologize, we're overboard, but this merits it, Stuart. One thing I was really impressed with Charlie Kirk, and something that Stuart and I have tried for the last over 5 years, you say something, if I have to rebut, I want to make sure I got the facts. And I worked very hard over these last 5 years, and Stuart has too, that when it comes up to saying something, we can back it up. And if we don't have the information, we say this is our opinion. And if we are wrong, we admit we're wrong. When people on the left realize that this is what normal people do, that debate is healthy because it leads to other opportunities and creativity and a better society. If you want to go back to autocratic rule, you want to go back to mind fucking, please go somewhere else. Take your ideology somewhere else. That's not Western values, folks. Enough with this already. I don't like to hear Marjorie Taylor Greene insult people, and I certainly don't like to hear Ilhan Omar or AOC or Rashida Tlaib insult me. I don't want to hear that. It doesn't bode well. On Wednesday, Speaker Johnson asked everybody to stand up for a moment of prayer.
Yep.
And the reaction in the House was so disgusting. What's your fucking problem? A minute of prayer? Why does that bother you to such an extent? That's what happened on Wednesday, Stuart. That's what happened
I
after
know.
the Minneapolis shooting. Where's the decency? Where's the respect?
There is none, David. And David, we did go well over. And I think this show does merit it. And I know we're going to chop up little pieces and put it out there. At the end of the day, everyone for now is going to remember a little bit about Charlie Kirk. Everyone for now may be a little bit more sensitive. But you know what I think we take away from this is you have to be engaging. You have to listen. You have to be tolerant. You have to be accepting. I don't really care about lots of the things that people have to say, but I respect it. It's their opinion. They're allowed. David, I appreciate you for the last 5 years. I hope to do another 5 years. How's that for scary? But what you need to understand is Charlie Kirk was a very influential politician who believed in his faith and was murdered because of it. And I hope sooner rather than later we capture, try, and to the fullest extent of the law, deal with these people. And if there's more than one person involved, that we deal with all the persons involved. The only way this is going to stop is with an all stop from everyone. And if you notice, there's certain politicians, like David mentioned just previous to me jumping back in, there are those that need to be removed from office. Last broadcast, I talked about judges. That goes for elected officials. If elected officials don't cover this, then maybe you shouldn't cover them. David?
You know what? I'm going to leave you with this thought. Charlie Kirk was 31. His widowed wife, Erica, 31.
2 kids.
Daughter, 3. Son, 1 years old. The people who helped create this heinous crime should keep in mind what they have done and how they've ruined the lives of this young family. That was the decision. Not using words, not trying to debate Charlie, but to shut him down was to kill him. And I've talked about this, Stuart has talked about this. This is what the hard left movement is trying to do. Shut us down. I keep talking in intros about hushed tones, that we talk about this in hushed tones. And over the last 48 hours, I've been impressed to see athletes, entertainers, politicians, other people come out of the dark finally and do something. A local hockey player donated money to the family. Others are starting to voice their opinions, demanding moments of silence. The Yankees game had it the other night. It's about time to shut down these extremists. It's about time we silence the people who tried to silence us. I'm not saying shoot them. I'm not saying cancel them. It's time to debate them in an open forum. It's time to voice that their opinion is their opinion, not fact, and not the way I want to live my life. If we stop doing that, we stop being Americans. And I'm saying that today as a Canadian. I want to be a Canadian. I want to go back to that. I don't want to go where we're going. Stuart, last word for you, my friend.
No outro, David. Just let it rip.
Ladies and gentlemen, our heart goes out to Erica and their children. We wish them only peace. And to those who followed Charlie, keep watching his videos. Keep watching. As Stuart said, be inspired on college campuses and anywhere you are. Carry that message with you. The world can be a better place if we brought decency and respect